Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. All the teams you wanted to trade with won. The Mets are in the dance right now. Last episode before we're live in Dallas, Texas. Let's yuck ball.
I didn't like that one.
Hello and welcome to Yuckin' Ball with a couple hammers. I'm Jake Storielli. That's Trevor Plouffe, BBD producing. July 12th. How's it happen, Trev? Some guys have, like, season stats. You know what I'm saying? Like, some guys have, like, 111 innings pitched, and it's like, oh, damn. Like, that's a chunk of the year. And we are going to be live, not live, we always say that, but it's not live, in Arlington, Texas, recording our next Talkin' Baseball. We've got our big Chris Rowe trade ep coming in the middle of next week, everyone's favorite episode. And we're having our actual live event on Tuesday. Community Beer Co. in Dallas, some tickets left. It's one of the best times of the year. It's the end of our trip. Like, there's no more obligations left. Everyone's wonky from 4 hours of sleep every night. That it's quite the scene over there. So excited to see everyone. Trevor, how are you doing, nasty Calabasas boy?
That was a lot of word vomit out of you right there. Just a lot of it. I'm doing great, though. Yesterday, made my way up to Santa Barbara, which is about an hour north of where I live. Did the zoo with the kids. Ended up going to this, we're part of a wine club that's in Santa Barbara. So we stopped in there for a tasting. Sure. Why not, right? And I didn't catch the gentleman's name. Tall, handsome, blonde wine pourer there.
Not
starts pouring the wine. I don't think he's a sommelier.
But we're not going to call him a waiter? You think he's above that?
Well, it's just wine. He
okay.
just pours the wine.
Consigliere.
It was awesome, right? We started talking, then all of a sudden he goes, hey, big fan of what you guys do. I'm a Yankee fan. And then his face, he was smiling when we were talking, and he said, I'm a Yankee fan. And then it just went dark. So shout out to that guy. I forgot to catch his name, but very nice. Always nice to meet, people out in the wild like that. Then I went to the batting cage.
Wow.
And I got tuned up by 80 miles an hour in the cage. I eventually got it. Like my third round, I started to feel like, I was there. But first two rounds, 80 seemed like 1,000.
Getting old, Pop. Hey, sorry you went to Santa Barbara, had a wine tasting, and then got some hacks in. Was at the warehouse yesterday, and all the pro blitzball players were competing in 115-degree heat. I did have a nice one on the subway. Guy walked up, and then gave me the point, and I was like, "Oh, what's up, man?" And I got ready to talk, went earpods out, and he goes, "Oh, you're good, man, but I love you." And we shook hands, and we went a separate way. So I don't know. It was like a passionate, weird New York City indie film for a second. I didn't know if we were gonna, was that our chance? That and a whole lot more on Talkin' Baseball today. Trev's mad about Paul Skenes getting pulled. Yankees spiraling.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, you should be, Trev, because we're right. I'm on your side, because the nerds are so dumb. / it's not even... Okay.
The nerds agree with us.
Yes.
Where do we land?
Literally back in time, the cavemen were like, 100 pitches, that seems good. And we just said, okay. What's that about? A lot of good ball being played. Like I mentioned, the Mets are in the playoffs, so I saw articles this link the Astros might get Alonso and Sevy. Mets might be asking for Bregman. I don't even know anymore. And as we start to get ready for trade deadline and all that, dude, sometimes Jimmy used to get critiqued on here by some of the commenters because, Jimmy can be pretty straightforward and blunt. Mm-hmm. We're getting towards the the wild card teams and everyone being involved being a bad thing, because your Cubs put in work this weekend. The Reds, like everyone except the Nationals. If you're dreaming up a trade offer for any of those bubble teams, you can't do it yet.
No, the AL has started to separate there. The NL is still a jumbled mess. I agree with you. The Cubs, how about it? Baltimore, what's we doing, baby?
What are we doing, baby? But
Let's
yeah,
yuck some ball.
Even the Blue Jays have won a couple series. Rangers are fighting. Detroit is all jacked up on Mountain Dew. I got people tweeting at me, hey, Tigers, Cleveland, all you need to say, good team beats bad team. Easy, Motor City. All right? Easy, Motor City.
What's up with your pizza with the racing stripes anyway?
And Trev has some all-star break plans for a lot of people coming up this episode. And it's all brought to you by the Farmer's Dog. My guy, Noodle the Doodle, he's been crushing it lately, keeping everyone sane in our household. And that's what dogs do. And you want to keep them happy and healthy, made with fresh, real meat and veggies. That's why the puppers are into them. And give them a healthier coat, healthier diet, better breath, easier and better digestion. And what I like about it, not all pups are the same. Your big boy Great Dane and that mini pincher down the road, I don't know if they should have the same diet, and Farmer Dog obliges to that. It's specially made for your pup, young or old, big or small. And right now, your first box at thefarmersdog.com/talkin, you get 50% off, plus free shipping. That's thefarmersdog.com/talkin, 50% off. Link in the description. I did have Joe's McFly whisper the other day that I think he's getting steps closer to getting a dog. I think his kids are coming to the next level where they can do some partial responsibilities. We'll see. I hope they're listening right now, and now they think their dad's getting them a dog.
Don't you dare ever say that to my kids.
I tell your kids a lot of things. I tell them the truth. National League Baseball. The cream of the crop here, Trev. Dodgers, Phillies. Does it get any better? Not for Philly, because they've been rolling, and I think I owe Philly fans an apology because they lost the series, and I said, oh, they're kind of banged up. Philly fans, DGAF right now. They don't care. And they got those two big boys back, too, in Schwartz and Harper. They sweep the Dodgers, who currently have a pitching problem. Or maybe they had a Phillies problem, because it's Trey Turner, Brandon Marsh, my guy Rafael Marchand filling in for JT Realmuto, and they DGAF still. Aaron Nola throws his fastest pitch of the year to Shohei. We like that. The testosterone is flowing. That middle game was close with Christopher Sanchez on the bump, but the Phillies take care of business. Dodgers have like the third worst starting pitching over the past month or so. They sent down one of their guys. I don't know. Bobby Miller, your guy, Bobby Miller got sent down. We'll talk about that. Hey, Atlanta Braves and the Snakes. Some good ball being played here. 11 innings in the first game. My guy Yilber Diaz made his debut. Got to watch a lot of this game on MLB Network. Braves win in 11. They come back in the ninth. Sean Murphy. My God. And Eddie Rosario, here he is playing for the Braves. Our guy. They lose that second game. Adam Duvall with the big homer off of Gallen. Chris Sale and Zach Gallen. Like, this is what I'm talking about. But now I'm talking about the Snakes winning the final two games. Fought and Freed. Wow, that's kind of like you and me. 1-0 game to finish it with BBD's Eugenio Suarez, the only run scored in that game. And we're getting Torey Lovello interviews about Skenes pitching. I told you about the New York Mets. They sweep the Nationals. Nationals have been down big bad kind of since I called them America's team. But Jose Quintana, 7 innings, shut piece, 1 hit. Luis Severino, 6.1, 2 earnings. David Peterson, 6 shut. And this is with Frankie Lindor and Nimmo, your all-star snubbies. They keep hitting. Vientos keeps driving in runs. People want us talking about him as the best third base. He is hot. And Pistol Pete Alonso and JD Martinez. A lot of meat on that third day. Mets are in the playoffs. The Pittsburgh Pirates, they teed it up with the Milwaukee Brewers. Couple blowouts in those first couple games. Tobias Meyer shoves. Quinn Priester, another young arm for them as the bulk guy in the first game. While Rowdy and Jack Sawinski, they do their work. Decision day, the rubber match, and Paul Skenes. 7 innings, no hits, 11 Ks. We'll talk about that a little bit. They hold on a 1-0 win to win that series. Hey, did they trade yet? Nope. Reds, they take 3 out of 4 from the Rockies, despite our guy Brenton Doyle's breast experts. Hello. This looks like my Insta search page. Andrew Abbott, 7 innings clean. Reese Hines, who are you? And all you're doing is hitting. Florida guy. Ellie De La Cruz, breaking stolen base records. And how about Tyler Stevenson, bringing out the big stick? Hunter Green with a good day at the office. Reds take 3 out of 4. They keep the train moving on as we enter treadline season. Royals take 2 games from the Cardinals. It's a doubleheader day, so you know Big Sal had to homer in both games. Back and forth in that second one. Cardinals fans kind of tough. Lars Nootbaar's back. He homers. 3 homers in the first game, but catch these L's from your Kansas City Royals. Mariners, they get the 2-gamer sweep against the Padres. Logill drops it. Bryce Miller and Mike King. A lot of good pitching and catchers hitting. Cal Raleigh from both sides. Higgy. And then the Toronto Blue Jays, they take 2 out of 3 from the Giants. Yusei Kikuchi, what a start from him in the loss. You know, Elliot Ramos, every box score, 2 hits and a homer. Every box score. He's an all-star. Good job, Toronto. Ernie Clement. What are the standings, Trev?
Excellent, Pop. Excellent. I found out today that Elliot Ramos was a first-rounder. Didn't know that.
Kind of made you turn on him.
Out of Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
Okay.
Do it. You want the standings?
Sure.
Okay. It's Friday, I believe, so we're going to start out west. The Dodgers, despite getting swept, are still up 7 games in the division, 55-39. The Padres hanging on to a playoff spot by a thread, 49-47. And those Snakes back at 500. 47-47, and the Giants won't go away. What are they doing? Still undecided on the City Connects, I'll be honest with you. 45-40. Those are clouds? Makes sense. 45-49. And then the Rockies, 33-61, will go to the East Coast. Or those Phillies, those sweeping Phillies. Trey Turner is hot. Never seen me and Trey Turner in the same room. 61-32.
I think I have.
First team to 60. Yeah.
I think
yeah,
so.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I took a picture with him one time.
Yeah.
Also played against them. 61-32. The Braves, 51-41, 9.5 games back of the Phils. Those Mets, they be dancing at 47-45. The Nationals on their way down, 42-52. And then the Marlins, my gosh, open the books already. Throw people to the other teams, 32-61. Is Jazz Chisholm coming to your team? He had a leadoff homer, and he came back in the dugout, and there wasn't a lot of smiles. I don't know what that was about. Something I noticed, people. He had a smile. And then in the Central, the best division in baseball, they're calling it.
Wow.
Shoot, there we are.
Looks like he's going to be safe there. Yeah, got to be honest with you.
That's a tough uni look, too. I don't like those socks.
You were searching.
Is that me?
That's you.
Yeah, it is me. Anyways, in the Central, 54-40 for those Brewers. 5 games ahead of the St. Louis Cardinals, who got swept by the Royals, 48-44. The Pirates, what is you doing? With Skenes.
Taylor Ward trade rumors. Nice.
Yeah, there's some Taylor Ward trade rumors. Hey, he's a good hitter, Jake.
He
Don't be,
is.
don't be down talking my guy Taylor Ward.
I'll let you finish.
And save this. Thank you. 45 and 48. Somehow they're still in it. Along with the Cubs, who are 45 and 49, and along with the Reds, who are 45 and 49 as well. So we got a bunch of mid teams vying for that third playoff or wild card spot. And let me tell you about the wild card while we're at it, Jake. I almost forgot about that. The Braves hold the top spot. And then the Cardinals are the second wild card team with the Mets and the Padres tied for the third wild card spot. Right behind them, 1 game out, the Arizona Cardinals. 2.5 games out, the Pittsburgh Pirates. And then here's your 3-game outers, the Cubs, Cincinnati, and the Giants. So all these teams still right in the thick of it, Jake, and those are your National League standings.
You know, I kind of bring my right hook, and then you kind of come undercut and hit him with that coffee press. Trev, fantastic stuff. I can't believe I'm like Jones and itching to talk Pirates. Let's get the big boys done with. Your Dodgers played BBD's Phillies.
Yeah.
And man, the Philly train, it already left the station, but 61 and 32. Best record in the National League it's been. They send the Dodgers packing back to Brewerland, and the Dodgers with starting pitching issues, you know, in a genuine way, I do my fake, your guy, my guy, whatever. Nobody really knows what that is. Bobby Miller, you were first on the scene. That was you saw him throwing, and you're like, okay, that's different. And we saw some of that. He's been struggling lately. Sent down, the whole starting pitching staff has been really struggling. The worst in the NL since June 16th when Yamamoto went down with injury. So we've got some real problems here, and we're seeing this with a lot of the big boys around baseball, except the Phillies.
Yeah, I mean, I think I looked this up the other day. The Phillies have had 7 people start games for them this year. And at one point, they had 6 like legitimate starters. Talk about Turnbull and Walker at the end of the rotation. So they had like 6 stars and one other guy still in like 1 game. And I forget what his name is. The Dodgers, I believe, have had now 12 people start games for them. And if you look at the people they have on the IL right now, it's nuts. I mean, it's Bueller, it's Kershaw, it's Glasnow, it's Yamamoto. I'm missing other people. Dustin May, Tony Gonsolin, Mookie Betts, Max Muncy. We're talking about just a freak show of talent on the IL for the Dodgers. So, like, that doesn't matter. But the Phillies went and handed it to them. But the Dodgers are dealing with a ton of injuries. They can explain some of the numbers for their starting pitching. They're going to have to do something because Bobby Miller's not hurt. He just has performed poorly all year this year. And I'm actually happy they finally did this, sent him to AAA. Like, you got to work on some stuff. The first game, he was just missing middle with his off speed. Trey Turner, the grand slam, was an 86 hanging slider. My guy, Trey, you think he's going to miss that right now? The way he's seeing the ball? It ain't going to happen. Bryson Stott got a curveball middle for a hanger. Maybe he's tipping pitches. Maybe it's just he can't locate anything. I think the latter is probably more likely. But yeah, the Dodgers, they got to figure something out with that pitching. There's no doubt about it. I think they're in position to make a move. Like, we're going to do our trade episode with Chris Rose when we're in Dallas. You mentioned that. Somebody's going to say Crochet to the Dodgers. Somebody's going to say Jack Flaherty to the Dodgers. Somebody's going to say one of the pitchers from Toronto probably to the Dodgers. Like, they're going to get one of the big boys. They have to. Because a lot of the guys, like Yamamoto, like, is he coming back this year? They think he might. Like, but what's he going to look like? Bueller, what's his deal? Apparently he's like not even, we talked about this on Baseball Today. He's like in Florida doing stuff. He's not in Glendale at the spring training facility. He's not with the team. Like, what is that about? When you're completely away from facilities, that is usually a sign that shit's weird. So I'm not counting on, besides Glass now, I'm not counting on these guys coming back, and maybe Kershaw, Tyler Glasnow, Kershaw. The rest of the guys, like, what can you count on, really? You don't know the extent of what is going on. So they definitely have some issues there. But in the end, Philly they just took it to him, man. That second game, Strom had he came in, I think it was first and third, one out. He gets Shohei on 4 pitches with a slider down, then gets Teoscar. He's an all-star. The Phillies are kind of just firing right now. Brandon Marsh is like, we don't need to trade for anybody. Look how freaking.
Yeah.
By the way, let me just keep going on this guy, Brandon Marsh. It's the same thing. I said, Tim Hill, you're ugly. I said that, and I apologize now because I think he was trying to be ugly. He had the hair, and like it wasn't good that he goes to the Yanks. He's all clean cut, handsome guy, beautiful eyes on him. I think the same thing with Brandon Marsh. He was on the Chris Rose rotation. The light was just hitting him right. Very handsome guy, but he's trying like the caveman ugly thing.
Yeah, you have to understand, as I also have my caveman ugly look going on right now, that, okay, I need
gorgeous.
I need to circle back on Tim Hill because this was a conversation last night on Talking Yanks. Okay. Brandon Marsh he's gone full caveman. It's like, yeah, you're a big, athletic, handsome guy.
Get it. You're so handsome that you like are trying to be like, come on, man.
So what that is you're going to get one movie scene moment. There's going to be the day that Brandon Marsh shaves it and he shows up and it's like, oh, wow, he's got that in his bag. So that's nice. Tim Hill currently has some optical illusion stuff going on because in game when he's playing, he's got kind of like this grizzly, I don't know, like a firefighter you don't like. He's in game. He's the firefighter that the girls are like, I don't think I want to mess with him. It looks like he's just kind of drinking with the boys, and he might have seen some shit. Post game, Tim Hill is
girls love that
firefighter. Is firefighter? No, he's the one next to him that they're like, ooh, seems kind of like a bad boy. Not that I spent last night thinking about that. Yeah, how funny is this? And it's the beauty of trade deadline season that the Dodgers, who are on pace with the best of baseball, and they're the Dodgers. They got Ohtani, Glasnow, bonus Teoscar All-Star just to do it. That now the Phillies, I mean, the conversation there for a while has been like, do we want Luis Robert? Remember?
Yeah, what are they going to do?
Also, remember they were in on Yamamoto, but they said, like, we don't need a starting pitcher, but we're in on Yamamoto. It's like, okay, what's that? That's just a lot of riches, Trev. And even
they have a badass owner.
Yeah.
Who's got a six-pack, seen it, willing to spend money. They have the freaking, people will talk about Anthopoulos and Preller, but they got Dombrowski.
On Dombro, I trust forever.
Like, that's the big dog.
I was a straight up hater. I'm all Dombro all the time.
He is going to go for it.
Does he do podcasts?
He doesn't care about your farm system whatsoever. Have my farm system. I'm trying to win in the big leagues, people. That's my GM. My goodness. Give me him all day long. Yeah, they have an embarrassment of riches. I mean, like I said, Trey Turner has been, since coming off the IL, he's been nuts. I think he's got 6 homers in 9 games, something like that, 69 nice beavers. And then you just like forget about how good Bryson Stott is.
Yeah.
You forget like Brandon Marsh can go off and carry a team offensively if need be. You forget that Realmuto's not even in the lineup right now. Like they're also dealing with some injuries. They're finally getting some guys back. Kyle Schwarber, to me, I think he's like one of the biggest difference makers. Like the tone setting at the top of the lineup, you can't understate that. I think more teams need to get into that. Like, I know the leadoff position it's different for every team. Some teams still, deploy these, let's get on base and show some speed. And then the Phillies like, nah, let's just get up 1-0 because if you take the lead 66% of the time, you win that baseball game. Like, I like that. I like that better. Give me the 1-0 Jock Jones type guys.
Jock Jones.
A little Chris Berman right there.
I love Jock Jones. I know there's a couple famous Chris Berman clips out there. Some not depicting him in the best light, and I'm not going to defend that. There's one I hadn't seen before. One of my buddies sent me. He's talking about getting like drugs in Canada.
I saw that too.
That's all wild.
Just a little bit of codeine. Like, relax. I do not support that
Chris Berman
whatsoever.
back in the day. It seemed like he ran hot. Dodgers, like you said, it's going to be a fun deadline, and I probably will be a fun deadline for them because they've proved that they'll go out and make the move, and they're paying Shohei $2 million this year to go out and make the move. So, excited to see what they come up with. Phillies, their final series going into the break. Oakland A's. I don't think they're going to limp into the break.
How about just to close the book here on the Phillies? We just found 2 all-star relievers.
That's what, dude. It was
like, what are we doing?
It's so funny because I think we're on the pulse of things sometimes, and I don't use my words well enough because that's like not what I'm good at, and that's the whole irony, the whole irony of this whole thing. It. The Phillies, they have like reclamation projects, like Jeff Hoffman, dude. Like, what? That Matt Strom contract when we signed it, that was one of the first like swingmen bullpen guys that were like, we're giving that kind of money. Here he is getting Shohei, and he's talking about experience against facing Big Papi, and you're like, do I need to rewatch Matt Strom's career? Like, what? That they've done it in every facet. Stott, they've called up guys. What do you got? Chris Sanchez keeps growing.
He's getting taller. Jeff Hoffman was in the big leagues when I was playing.
Okay.
2016 through 2022, he was with Colorado and Cincinnati. You want to hear his stats?
Sure. That's mean.
Well, first of all, he started some games. Awesome. Overall, between those 6 years, he had a 5.68 ERA, an 86 ERA plus. His FIP was 5.34. His WHIP was 1.58. Okay?
Yeah.
Then he came over to the Phillies. Let me get that. Oh, fudge, I messed it up. Let me get his numbers up with the Phillies.
He's my new, while you do that, he's my new, I said it on this program before, if I was a reliever, I'd love to have Raisel Iglesias' stuff. He's got 3 pitches. I never know which one's coming. They're all grosser. Hoffman might be the new guy. Like, his stuff is just, it doesn't feel like the ball moves the right way.
I mentioned the FIP was in the 5s. The WHIP was 1.5. The ERA was high 5s, 5.6. Since coming over to the Phillies, a 1.87 through 91 and 2/3 innings pitch. The ERA plus was at an 86 with the rest of the teams. It's 2.28 here. The FIP is at a 2.37. The WHIP is at a 0.906. Like, what?
Nothing makes sense. Nothing's right. Speaking of nothing makes sense, nothing's right, you're running hot. Let's jump over to Pittsburgh, and I'll tell you why I'm mad, and then you could tell them why you mad as Pittsburgh takes 2 out of 3 from Milwaukee. So here's why I'm mad about the Taylor Ward stuff. What is that? Yeah. I think Taylor Ward's a good baseball player. I think Taylor Ward should be traded. I think he might be a nice fit in Pittsburgh. Why is that rumor out there? Because it's not like Angels are floating Taylor Ward. It's Pittsburgh and the Angels are talking about Taylor Ward, which, I don't know, that feels like poor trade tactic. Like if I was another trade that needed another team that needed a right-handed hitting outfielder, like that doesn't feel like a rumor to me. That feels like telling the media, hey, Taylor Ward is available and we're going to trade him to another team, but you need to pay up before Pittsburgh does.
So, okay, the Pirates need offense, right?
Yes. Bingo.
Thank you. Crush that one. What analysis, people. But it's outfielders, right? They have to go get an outfielder, I believe, because the infield is kind of set. Maybe a first baseman, although Rowdy's career home run.
Banging.
Nice.
Yeah.
And Brian Reynolds is out there. So you got basically corner. Kind of limits what you got out there. Like, who are the outfielders that are available? And we just talked about all these teams that are kind of still in the race. Maybe you look and Texas is like out, right? There's 7 games back of everything.
Don't tell them that. Don't tell them
that. I know. Well,
that.
their GM said we're going to trade people, unless a drastic turnaround has happened, and then a drastic turnaround has happened, but they're still not gaining games. They're still 7 games out of everything. So I just don't know who's available necessarily. And Taylor Ward will be one of the better names available for trade. So I mean, I'll applaud them if at their record, I mean, 2.5 games out, but there's still a couple games under 500. If they go out and make that trade, I'll applaud them.
Yes.
I'm not gonna, know what on them.
But that's where I'm mad about the rumor. Like, get the trade done. Otherwise, at this point, I'm expecting the next tweet to pop up. Like,
gosh, Brent Rooker would be great.
Yeah, throw him in a corner and bang. That was almost
Texas 7 games out of the West, also 7.5 out of the wild card. Like they're not. What do you think they're going to add or stay pat? They can't.
They're going to let their next couple weeks decide.
They got their World Series ring, bro. This is going to be the Marlins all over again.
Hey, I'm not saying you're wrong, but like Rangers, and I know we're getting to the interleague soon, but Max Scherzer's like pitching for them now. So if you're going to trade, like, is Max Scherzer getting traded? Okay.
He's got a no trade clause. So probably not. He's like, no, I'm good.
But didn't he have that with the Mets too? And it's just like, I'm Max Scherzer.
Yeah, but he got traded to a team. Okay, if he goes to a team that's like surely in the race, then yes, he would think about it and waive it. Yes.
Did you say the Dodgers needed? Huh.
He's been there, done that, bro.
Huh. That's interesting. Yeah, and then I guess go off, King, about Paul Skenes, because this is where we're smarter than, I guess, cavemen.
The whole series was just kind of the first 2 games. Pirates go off, bam, they win 12-2. Rowdy's hitting homers. Again, congratulations on the 100th. Brewers the next game, you got Reese hitting freaking absolute moonshots. Willie Adames opens it up with a freaking moonshot. They go off 12-2, 9-0 first 2 games, and then the rubber match. Paul Skenes, 7 innings pitch, no hits, 1 walk, 1 hit by pitch, and they pull him. And he was at 99 pitches, and I think everyone thinks, okay, that's a lot of pitches. It is a lot of pitches, I think. But what do we really know about that? And again, I put this out yesterday. People are like, half the people agree with me, half the people hate me. That's the internet. Just in case you were wondering, I've talked to what I said was I've talked to a lot of guys, and typically the removal of a guy from a game like that's not old school baseball. That's new school baseball. Like, hey, let's save his arm. We're thinking about the future, all these things. That would seem to me like that's coming from above, right? Ownership, front office.
It's all connected at this point. I guess that's where
they are all connected.
Yeah, that's the only thing I'd add there. Like at this point, there's no managers that are rogue.
So all people that I've talked to are like, yeah, that's an arbitrary number. Like we don't think 100 pitches means anything. It's more about stressful pitches and stressful innings. Like that means more. So we can look at the data and, we can see, what his pitches are doing. So is there a dip in velo? Like what's the shape of it? We can look at his biomechanics on the hill in real time and say, okay, let's see, like it is something different. And if nothing's different, they've by and large said like, then he's good. And a lot of people came back, dude, what do you want to just blow up this rookie? He's going to get TJ. And like, dude, that's also not the case. We don't know why guys get TJ. Babying doesn't work. It doesn't work. We've seen that for years now. So like, that's a bad argument. If you're saying, oh, you got to take him out, he's just a rookie. Like, what does that even mean, dude? That there has been no evidence of, oh, this guy's a 4-year vet now, so let's let him go 100. Like, that's not it.
Right.
The facts are, we don't know. And what has played out the most and the most researched part of this would be the stress of the innings and then that showing up on the data. But even that is squirrely. So my take on this has changed a lot. I think now it's like, let's just let these dudes pitch. Like, this is a healthy dude. Now, if you wanted to say, we thought his stuff was down and it was our best chance to win the game, I would say, okay, that's a valid reason. But that wasn't the reason.
Right.
Even though Shelty came out after the game and said, "Well, he was tired. I looked at him. He looked tired. That's the eye test. It was an easy pull for me." It's like, well, no, I think really you just like you can't risk that because if he gets hurt on your watch, you're done. Like that's what I think all of that was. Like and I'm not saying he doesn't care about Paul Skenes. Clearly, like he cares about this kid, and he does have for them. They have the best interest at mind, but there's nothing to back that up. It's just the arbitrary 100 pitch number. That's the only thing there. If we didn't know pitch counts, what do you think would happen? Like seriously, if our mind was just blank of pitch counts,
it's interesting.
Does it make sense? Not really, but you know where I'm going with
Yeah.
it. I don't know, man. Like I just think he just had a 6-pitch inning. He threw one fastball during the inning. It was at 97, so the velo was a little bit down, but it was the first pitch of the inning. Like,
right.
I don't know. Interesting discussion. I'm open to it because, again, we just don't have anything concrete, Jake.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think we should say, as we pretend to fight people on this, it's not like we have the answer, because nobody does, but that's kind of our argument. Yeah, I don't know. Here's from what I know from working out or getting better at things, that like if you build yourself up, that's a way to do it. And I don't know, I could read you some of Randy Johnson's years that like June he pitched 130 pitches every start. RJ never got Tommy John. Also a freak. I mean, 6'11" and kind of threw sidearm, so I don't know what you do with any of that info. But he also threw like 200 innings a year. So I don't know. I feel like guys used to be built up more for it, and I don't know what in my head, like let's say Skenes felt great today, and it seemed like he did. And by the way, also a big moose of a body type that doesn't seem like he's making his body really uncomfortable when he's throwing. Obviously, the throwing motion in general is kind of uncomfortable. But, like, if Paul Skenes, let's say he put up a 115 burger in this game, and then maybe even next start, which maybe he gets some extra rest, maybe he doesn't because he's probably starting the All-Star game, or if the Pirates do tinker with that a little bit, maybe if you take it easier and he comes out in the 6th after 92 pitches, well, when you need him for a start in September, and maybe it's a do-or-die win for the Pirates, maybe he could go 115 again because his arm and body's done it before. Maybe he couldn't. Maybe he comes out of a game and he's like, whoa, like I'm feeling those 10 more pitches more. We don't have the answer. The fact that it's 100 is this number that's like, ooh. And you mentioned all the front offices that are like, that's an arbitrary number. Like 100 doesn't really matter. Okay.
That's actually a good voice for them.
You're
like
right.
That.
Show me the guy who's throwing a $120 every game. Show me the guy that's getting allowed to pitch 130. It doesn't exist. So then it's not an arbitrary number. That means it's a number you believe in. Sorry.
I think the fact is, we're speaking a lot about facts and non-facts.
Yeah,
the fact,
sure
I think the true fact is here, we know nothing, Jon Snow.
Powerful stuff. Egret to the Red Lady.
Ooh, the Red Lady was hot.
Okay.
And then she wasn't, obviously. Like she, when she like came herself.
Experienced.
Like as the Red Lady, hot. But also
necklace, huh?
like a black ghost coming out of that wasn't. I'm not about that.
That wasn't as hot.
Whatever.
Yeah,
They never
I watched that
explained
scene
that.
yesterday.
Yeah, some dark magic, King's Blood, really good. I think season 7, ep 2. I forgot about it, but her and Lord Varys kind of have like a mid off.
Yeah.
Just like
Stannis Baratheon got the short end of the stick the entire time. Like he was just trying to do what was right, but then he had to burn his own daughter. That was, what are we doing?
Spoiler.
Spoiler. Sorry. That
Famous
was
claim.
X that out, Beavers. Can you bleep that?
Yeah,
I feel
just
bad.
bleep
But
that whole
also,
thing.
it's been out for 5 years.
It's
So
been out for a while.
That episode's been longer.
Trev, I think there's part of you that doesn't like this. I think the only series that deserves to be talked about is D-backs Braves. I got some of my thoughts off on the way through. Snakes back to 500. By the way, you went through those wild card standings. Snakes are very alive, playing probably their best ball of the season. They had a Braves problem in previous years, so they slayed that dragon a little bit. Little full circle there. If Paul Sewald hasn't blown a couple games recently, they're probably the hottest team in baseball. And he gets a little help from a fellow Jake McCarthy with a game saver against Date My Daughter, Matt Olson. Some high-level baseball in here, including Yilber Diaz, who makes his
What's
debut.
up with him?
Dude, there's something about baseball that he kind of escaped his one jam. Like, I think it was first, second, no outs, and he got out of there, and you saw him get a little hop in his step, and he's like, here he comes. My guy's about to have a day at the office, and he did. So I'll let you talk about that series. Otherwise, like, we need to talk about the Mets, but, that series-wise, I don't know how much is there, but go off, young King Joffrey.
I agree with you. Like the Diamondbacks might actually be the hottest team in baseball right now. So who did they went? The Dodgers they could have swept, but they had a blown save. The series before
Padres.
that, who was it? Padres they could have swept, had a blown save. Just crazy games there. And then this one, first game, Sean Murphy goes oppo. So Sewald having his troubles, whatever it is, I think he's going to be fine. You mentioned some high level baseball. Yilber, I was blown away by watching him stuff. A great debut. And then in that first game, Matt Olson had this like unreal, I believe it was second and third, 1 out.
Yeah.
A foul ball down the line, ranges for it, and then on his knees, know you like that, throws it home to save the run. Date your daughter stuff.
Jock Peterson on third, one of those father time moments a little bit where he
should have went.
I think he should have.
On his knees. Let's go.
I think he would have gotten there. It was a crazy athletic play by Matt Olson. He threw it while still sliding backwards. On the replay,
my fingerprints are all over Matt Olson.
Not at all, if we're being real about it.
Me, Matt Olson, Chad Pinder, Matt Chapman taking BP on the backfields of freaking Peoria, where the hell the.
So you kids want to be big leaguers, huh?
I told him, I said this before on the show, but I told him, you got a little bit more in that swing.
Nice.
Just got to unlock it.
That's huge.
He's like, I'm going to hit 40 homers a year and you're a loser. I don't know. Great series by the Snakes. I mean, like, okay, so to be able to beat the Braves, a 1-0, I think is an incredible feat. Eugenio Suarez hits the homer. You outduel Max Fried, our guy Brandon Pfaadt, who like low key stud.
Pfaadt.
Like that's legit to salvage a series split here. I think that kind of tells you where the Snakes are at right now, because that's a big time victory right there.
They're finishing with Toronto. Interested to see how the Snakes wind it all down. And Trev, one of baseball's stories right now, the New York Mets. They're in the playoffs. They got 3 impressive pitching performances. The lineup depth, Jose Iglesias with another 3-hit day in here. I know we're highlighting some of their hitters later, but I want to make sure we're giving them proper love.
You got to look, if you're the Mets and you want to be a playoff team and the Nationals are kind of on the slide, you got to go win this series. They did more than that. They go out and sweep it. Yeah, we're going to get a little bit more into it. I mean, Jake Irvin's been really pitching really well. You go and put those numbers off of him. Offense is coming alive. We mentioned a lot of the guys. We're going to get into it in a little bit, I think. I think we also the Mariners.
Sure.
Padres. I know it's a 2-gamer, and we usually don't talk about 2-gamers. But the first game, this is like how Mariners baseball should look. You got Logan Gilbert, 7 2/3, I believe it was. Yeah, 7 2/3. Julio's goes off, carries the offense. Cal Raleigh with that fat ass, 2 homers. Like, this is how Mariners baseball should look. And then the second game, you can also win like this. And this is how they've had to win most of the time. Bryce Miller gives them the out and they score 2 runs. They don't give up any to a very good San Diego offense. Like, you should be able to win more games like you did in the first game. You just got to go get some people. Like your offense shouldn't have to be 2-0 and your pitching staff, go crazy. By the way, Munoz had some traffic on the bases in that last one, got out of it. Very nice. But I think that was my takeaway is, wow, I feel like I never see Mariners games like that the first game.
Haven't seen me and Senor Smoke in the same room. Taylor Ward's available. And no,
I want to know how many times they've had a 4-0 lead through the first 3 innings.
3 times.
Right?
Just guessing. Just chopping.
Okay.
Note else is available. Roan. R-H-O-N-E. The fellas at Roan stepped up to the challenge. Their commuter collection. It's the most comfortable, breathable, and truly versatile set of products known to men. Anything you're looking for. Pants, shirts, Q-zips, polos, blazers. Here's what I will speak on, because this is true. We got a Roan shipment. And I was like, ooh, let's see what we got. Shorts. Summer shorts. I don't have a lot of middle right now. It's either athletic wear or it's something kind of off the weird Jakey deep end. The Roan game is strong. Whether it's going out, whether you're golfing, whatever you're doing, they've got the look. I think of the 7-inch inseam for me. That's good. That shows off.
I was just going to talk about the Roan inseam because that's kind of like all the rage right now.
Yeah.
Is what inseam you wear. Like, are you a Nicky Kess 3-inch inseam? Ridiculous.
Yeah. And yet you can't see anything hanging out. Go to roan.com/baseball. Use promo code baseball. Save 20% off your entire order. That's RHONE.com/baseball. Click the link in the description.
That didn't seem totally looks like 6 to me.
Yeah, I thought it was
I like the Roan shorts.
okay. That's all we need to hear.
Good shorts.
And the AL. Tiger fans, you are sick people. You take 3 out of 4 from the Guard Dogs. The only game they won was in extras. Both starting pitchers, Ben Lively and Kenta Maeda. Your fingerprints everywhere. Both gave up 6 earned runs. But Naylor, Ramirez, and Kwan, each with 3 hits. Now we're done talking Guardians because it's all Tigers. Your guy Keeter Montero with 6.1 shut piece will get familiar. Reese Olson goes 6, and so does Jack Flaherty with 1 earned run.
It's Hey There.
Hey there. Colt Keith. Hey there. Colt Keith has been hitting. Riley Green is an all-star. And Matt Vierling, he went yard for our guy Trev. Tigers kind of stay alive and don't. That's the theme of today's episode. Speaking of the Chicago Cubs, they sweep the Baltimore Orioles in Camden, man. And I know I've been highlighting a lot of pitching, and for the right reason. Jamison Tyone with the worst start for the Cubs at 6 innings, 2 earned runs. Shota shuts him out over 6. Justin Steele shuts him out over 7, putting the team on his back just like Ian Happ, one of the hottest hitters in baseball right now, our guy, along with Michael Busch, who's really got his numbers in a pretty place right now. Same with Seiya. Cubs that stay alive, while the Orioles, one of the best teams in baseball, they have been floundering. Speaking of, the New York Yankees drop another series. They ain't won a series in a month. That's bad. 0 for their last 8. I think 0-7-1 as they lose 2 out of 3 to the Rays. They win the bread game. The one game they won, a 2-1 survival game, the Trent Grisham Bowl. Good for you, kid. Otherwise, the Rays are gonna raise. Yandy Diaz owns Nestor Cortez. Randy and Isak both go yard. Some good defensive plays. Johnny DeLuca, Midnight Johnny, people are calling him. They take 2 out of 3. The Rangers, they take 2 out of 3 from the Halos. I mentioned Max Scherzer pitched 6.2, 3 earned runs. Marcus Semien, is he breaking out of his funk? His first multi-hit day in a while. Same with Seager. Josh Smith, 3 hits. Semien, do the right thing. We don't care. Halo, salvage it on the last day. Mickey Moniak in a Neato day by Neto. Minnesota Twins, they take 2 out of 3 from the White Sox, sure. The Minnesota Moose, Matt Wallner, is back after being your minor league player of the month. He hits a ball 116. That's some rare air. Only the big boys do that. Brooks Lee, okay. So we got a top prospect balling out for the Twins again. Pablo Lopez, Luis Robert, and Eric Fetty with a nice outing. And I've got some Drew Thorpe for you later, White Sox fans. Buckle up. The Boston Red Sox, they win 2 out of 3 against Oakland. Joey Estes, how's your good start? How's your bad start? He gets rocked around the park tonight. L. Butt and J.P. Sears get it done in game 2. But Red Sox, Tanner Houck, Connor Wong leaves the building. Red Sox win another series, and so do the Houston Astros. They sweep the Florida Fish. Ronel Blanco, Framber Valdez. Your guy Joey Loperfido, he puts a nice one out there. Yiner with the 3-hit day, man. Houston's back. It was going to happen, and it has. That's what happened in the American League.
Excellent, Poppy. Excellent work right there. Do you want the standings by chance?
Yes.
Okay, and because it's Friday, I'm starting out west, where Seattle held on to their 2-game lead over the Houston Astros. They're 52-43. Is Julio finally here with the bat? It usually takes him some time to warm up, people. We know that. That would be massive for the Mariners. Houston, like I said, 2 games behind them. They're 49-44. Texas, 7 games back in the division, 44-49. And then it's the Angels, 38-55, and Oakland, 35-60. We'll head east to Baltimore. I love Baltimore. Always had a great time. I go to Kona Grill on my way to the ballpark sometimes. Get a little, like, sushi's not the best, but it's serviceable. Love that spot. 57-36 ahead of the Yankees. The Yankees are 2 games back, 56-39. The Yankees and the Dodgers, same. Good teams dealing with a lot of stuff. Fan base is not happy. The Red Sox. Do you remember when I called them the 3rd best team in the AL? And people were like, what are you talking about, bro? This team exists. That team exists. They're 10 games over 500 right now, 51-41. Only 5.5 back of the division. If we're going to talk about Minnesota catching the Guards or St. Louis catching Milwaukee, you can talk about Boston catching the Orioles. And what? Oh my gosh, if they win that division. Unbelievable. They got a nice roster. And the Rays are lock to finish over 86 wins. I don't know, or 84, whatever it was.
84.5.
46-47 right there. Johnny DeLuca, handsome, likes to party with his parents. Not sure if he's enough right now. What are they going to do? Did Jose Caballero actually catch the ball? I think he did. They're 46-47. Toronto, 43-50. And then America's division, the Central. Those Guards, they keep doing it, but Minnesota's creeping. They're 57-35, 4.5 games up on my Twins, 53-40. The Royals, after the sweep of the Cardinals, 51-43. And then the Tigers, 45-49, 13 games back in the division. And the White Sox, 27-68. In the wild card, it's my Twins at top. Excuse me, it's the Yankees at top. Forgot about the Yanks.
Thank you.
And then my Twins. And then it's Boston. Boston in the dance. Right behind them, Royals 1 game out. Houston 2.5 games out. And then I'll give Tampa at 5.5 games out a shout. Below that, Tigers 7, Rangers 7.5, Toronto 8.5. Are those the selling teams? My sources say yes. And those are the standings in the American League.
Thank you, Trevor. Yeah. I mean, they probably should be selling. I don't know. It's gonna be a fun topic the next couple weeks. Speaking of fun topics, God, where do you even go in the AL? I'm a little.
Let's crom pot it up because I think we kind of got to move fast through this. Detroit 3 out of 4 for Cleveland. That's no small feat. Yeah, snaps for sure. The first game, your guy and I knew that we were going to mess up his name, so I went and made sure we listened. It's Hader.
It starts with a K, right?
I know, but they
so it's a silent K.
I think so.
K-Dare?
I thought.
Is that like K-Bear Ruiz?
It's definitely K-Dare or Haydare. But they were pronouncing it like Haydare. Okay. Anyways, absolutely nasty. The only run in that game was scored on an error by Rocchio. Like a kind of like like a side spinning end of the bat ground ball that he just came up on. It was the only run of the game. So, Cleveland dealing with their starting pitching woes. Gavin Williams gives them a good start. Tigers to win that game. Big to start the series. Second game, bad starting. Cleveland ends up scoring 2 in the 10th. So they get that game. And then Tigers freaking find a way to win a 1-run game and then open up the offense. We talked about Colt Keith a little bit. Do you want to hear his numbers in July?
Yes.
43 plate appearances. He's got 4 homers, 9 runs driven in, 2 triples, attaboy, 6 walks to 11 Ks. He's hitting 351, 442, 784 for the 1 daughter in July. And I know it's only 10 games, but like more of what everyone was talking about. He still is a negative WAR player on the year, but like, if the Tigers are trying to make this late heroic push, got to have guys start to go off like that. Yes, Matt Vierling hit a homer his 12th of the year.
Yeah, Tigers. I don't know what you guys want to hear. I'd love to know what you're feeling. Besides that one tweet I saw, because
go cash in on Jack Flaherty.
Arcana, Jack Flaherty.
I think it's time, guys. They know that. Javier Baez, interesting. Was it this series that he got hit and they're like the Cleveland announcers like, bro, you're hitting whatever.
Yeah.
Like they're not throwing at you on purpose, which is true. Don't like announcers saying that, but
slight overstep, but one of those not wrong. What are you supposed to do? Cleveland don't care. Tigers fans obviously excited. Hey, here's what I'll say. Baltimore and the Yankees both floundering right now, and they tee it up for 3 this weekend. That'll be some good entertainment either way. The Cubbies, they've got guys balling out, pitching and hitting-wise. And I just had a flashback to last year. Remember when they went nuts around treadline season to hold on to Belly? So that team has some belief that they can go right now. But that facial reaction you just gave was, well, what did it mean last year? So...
also, Belly broke his finger.
Yeah.
Just like, that's tough for the Cubs right now. So, here's what I'll say. You just held the Orioles. Where's my notes on this? You held the Orioles to 2 runs in a 3-game set. You shut them out twice. And so, that was only the 3rd and 4th time all year that Baltimore has been shut out. So snaps for the fucking pitching staff. Like, let's go, boys. Our guy Ian Happer's been absolutely like tearing the cover off the ball. I'll be transparent. He had a quote on his podcast, The Compound. Yeah. Great show. By the way, speaking of Game of Thrones, am I the opposite of the Lannisters? Like a Lannister always pays his debt. I'm the opposite. What a loser.
You're the Ironborn. Like, nobody just believes in it.
I'm Ramsey Bolton right now. Just a piece of, you know what. It's just gone on too long now, people. He's been going off. Anyways, he was saying, like, baseball's an individual game, within a team sport. And I sent to you guys, like, this is, like, I know the feeling. He's going off, but, like, they're just not in it. So, like, they haven't been really since 2020. That was the last time he was in the playoffs. I mean, 3 games back. So, they're in the fold. But those are the feelings you start to get when you're like, man, like, just want to, all this guy does is he just wants to play in the playoffs. Those are the feelings you start to get. Even though he's also right, like the individual matchups is really what he was trying to reference there. Like, yeah, it's me versus the pitcher. Or like I'm trying to make a play, whatever it is. I know what he was trying to say, but also I feel like there's a little bit of that coming through.
Yeah, it's one of those weird things with baseball where it's a individual team sport. Like, basketball, you make the pass, set the screen, you're kind of working as a team. And, there's only so many plays like that in baseball, like turning a double play. It's that a couple people getting involved. But what Happer's saying,
you could argue that every single pitch is a team pitch. I mean, you have the catcher and the pitcher trying to be in lockstep.
Sure. But, it's a do your job. Like, if you got to come to the office, take care of your at-bats, do whatever you need to. If that runner's on third with less than 2 outs, you got to do your job there, make your plays defensively. So, but there is something to the feeling when a team is having good times and good vibes, it does feel more connected, and you wonder, what comes first there. I think the winning leads to feeling more connected as a team when guys are doing their job. But hey, if they can keep winning and get to 500 before that last week, because right now that has you actually the NL hunt, and we've said they could
get it before the All-Star break.
The Cubs kind of their direction is a little weird because they thought this was a go year.
I guess they can't technically. More on Happer. A 229 weighted runs created plus dating back to my birthday, June 15th. The only 2 qualified hitters ahead of him, Shohei Ohtani and like the god of baseball right now, Jose Miranda.
Yeah.
Who went 12 for 12. He's also put up a 281, 395, 615. That's a 1 daughter in his 41 starts since May 22nd. Like, he's going off, guys. Like, that's months of being a premier hitter in the big leagues, and he does a podcast for us. I love that.
Pretty cool.
Nice guy, entrepreneur, handsome.
Great golfer.
Classically handsome. Fuck Ian Happ. He's a good golfer too.
Yeah.
I know he had the clothes, but he's good. Yeah.
Like, I think you and Ian Happ thought you guys were going to be like, oh, we're brothers, man. We're,
I'm jealous.
He's kind of dropping it on you.
Oh yeah.
New
like,
contract.
as far as like
anything
career,
you want,
money,
golf.
Yeah. Yeah. I am like,
well, yeah, you owe me a bottle of wine, pal.
Yeah, what a fucking loser doesn't even pay his debt. Sorry for the cursing.
Send it to my second house.
Sheesh, that kind of, you just cut me deep.
Yeah, I know, and that's because the Yankees are struggling. And there's been some dark thoughts lately. Although a great episode of Talkin' Yanks last night. If you need some content this weekend, that was got a little wonky last night.
If you're not a Yanks person, it's a good one.
Oh yeah, you'll enjoy that even more. Because Yanks.
Happer has a ball on Utah Street now. Do I have one?
Yeah. No. That's tough though. I don't think there's any Oppo balls on Utah. So I don't think he hasn't gone second depth at the stadium, Pap.
He probably has.
Probably has.
Not to left. Not to left.
Switch hitter.
Maybe.
Shit. God, he switch hits too?
Just an L, bro.
Gold glove.
You couldn't stay in the infield though.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Just played center field for years.
Get out of here. Anyways.
This is me tipping my cap to you, bro.
Do you want anything on the Yankees? I don't really.
No, this is your. I'm gonna do the Twins. You do the Yankees.
No, I don't. I don't think we need to do either. I think struggling team loses to a punchy team at home, fighting for their season. Judge is having his first bad stretch in a while, which, if that's happening, it makes things really hard. I mean, even Soto was until the final game where he broke out. He's playing with like a cast on his hand, so that's a couple scary grimace moments there. But yeah, their pitching hasn't been quality. Rodon gave up 4 in the first. Nestor on the road this year has been one of the worst pitchers in baseball. At home, he's been one of the best pitchers in baseball, so don't know what to do with that. And meanwhile, yeah, you say Rays are going to raise, and I don't think they like that, but, there was 3 bloopy balls in this last game that if they get down, Yanks might win. Instead, here comes Johnny DeLuca with a flying catch. Here comes Randy out of nowhere. Here comes Caballero and Siri from nowhere land to make a great play to end the game. So, I don't know. And the Rays are funny, dude. The Rays traded away Savali to the Brewers, who he had a great start in his Brewers debut, obviously. They traded away Phil Maton to the Mets because the Mets need some pen help. Maton with a great outing, obviously, for the Mets. But the guys the Rays brought in have been awesome. They called up this dude from AAA. He's pumping 98 and mowing guys down. So that's where the Rays win.
I'm looking at Pepio's stats because every time I feel like I see him, he's doing well.
Dude, he grew out his hair, too. He's kind of looking Glass now-ish out there.
Got a 4.2 on the year.
Yeah.
Let me look how he's been doing lately.
Yeah.
Oh, he's had good starts. Not going long in games, and maybe that's just a Rays thing. He hasn't pitched over 6 innings the entire year. Maybe that's a him thing because he's throwing a lot of pitches. Okay. All right, we'll circle back on that.
No need.
Texas, you go take 2 out of 3 in LA. A little bit not enough, too late. Is that a saying?
We're going to, we will find out in a week and a half.
Like, they need to sweep this weekend, and then we'll be like, okay, like maybe they'll hold on to guys. I don't think they will. I got to be honest with you, man. It's 7.5 of the wild card, 7 out of the division.
So what would it need to be? Because if the trade deadline's the 30th or the 31st.
It would have to be 3 or fewer.
They won the title last year.
3, exactly. It's called resting on your laurels.
You're putting that in a good column. Okay.
I think they have to be within 3, and I don't know, man. And yeah, I mentioned Scherzer with a no trade, so maybe they're like, all right, like, who can they trade from that team? It's like they also have a lot of guys locked up.
That's kind of what I'm saying. That's where I think I'm on the other side. They're not really rental city. Like and I think anyone that would even be eligible, like, Adolis, who's got a couple years left, but he's having a tough season. That you wouldn't sell on that. So I think Texas might just be in it. And if it's an ugly year,
yeah, you're right.
They say, hey, we won it all last year. Who really cares?
Nate Lowe's not a freaking until 2027.
Their infield is locked up for half their infield's locked up.
You know what
decade.
it is? It's some of the bullpen. So it'd be like a David Robertson they could get rid of. But why would you? He's so cheap and freaking he's the guy.
He's the guy.
He'll be in the World Series with somebody. You know it. Back to the Phillies.
Might be Texas. Whoa. Honestly, I kind of don't want to hear about Twins White Sox. We don't
need Twins. Boston does their thing against the A's because they're a damn good team. I've been referencing that for a long time. First on the train there, and then Houston, yeah. They have some, like, what are they going to do at the deadline? Seems like they need a first baseman. Probably need some pitching. Who are they going to go after? The hot name for them is Christian Walker, but
no.
That'd be interesting because he is free agent next year. By the way, wow, he's going to make some money.
Yeah.
Are the Snakes one of those teams, a la the Brewers, who are like, you know what? Like, we can find somebody from within. We got to cash in now because what are they going to do? Give them the qualifying offer? That's it?
No.
Okay, I get it. Do I think they should trade him? Absolutely, 100% not. Don't take me out of context, people. So I know that's what somebody's going to do. All I'm saying is that it's not like it hasn't been done before, Jake, in this game of baseball.
The Arizona Diamondbacks are a proud franchise that don't have...
So are the Brewers. They traded Corbin Burns before the year.
That don't have a lot of history.
The Mariners traded Paul Sewald, their closer.
How'd that work out for them?
Nothing works out for them. That doesn't mean anything.
Christian Walker, by WAR, is the 11th best Arizona Diamondback of all time. That city still reels from Paul Goldschmidt leaving them.
Christian agree Walker's with everything their guy. You're saying.
They went to the World Series last year being in a worse position than they're in now. Christian Walker's not going anywhere.
I hope not. And I don't think he will. I'm just saying, bro, like don't tell me there's a non-zero or a 0% chance. I'm saying there's a non-zero chance. Is that I kind of think I'm using that correctly.
You're turning into a front office guy before our eyes.
Don't say that to me.
Well, there's a non-zero chance they
First,
trade
Ian
Christian
Happ,
Walker.
you're just
speak in
crushing me, and then
extremes.
you're telling me I'm a front office guy.
Our front office, bro.
Me and Jeremy Zoll, who's an AGM with the Twins.
Don't
You know
drop
what I do with
Jeremy
him?
Zoll's name right now.
I talked to him and I said, listen, you can talk front officey to me, but I'm going to remind you that you were once a ball player. So don't tell me that I'm going front office. I'm injecting ball player into these front office guys.
Hell yeah.
Shout out Jay-Z.
It's incredible. Hey, the Yankee fan doesn't want to talk about Boston and Houston. Oakland and the Marlins. You did your job. Houston, you did your job exemplary. Proud of both you guys. And yeah, also living in fear of you. So congrats all around. Also, congrats all around to Charity Buzz, Trev. These are new friends. And I said, what's going on here, guys? And they're like, well, we're in the card game. And I say, okay, I'm familiar. They're auctioning 2 sets of highly valuable baseball trading cards, including a rookie Mickey Mantle, 1952.
Hot.
Yeah. Rarest and highest value card included in the auction. And so, okay, some of you are listening right now. You're in the card game. Some of you aren't. Where we all should be is in the charity game. And every winning bid will benefit a charity or nonprofit partner. So we're bringing the two worlds together. Some good charity stuff, some people in the card world, and we're doing it at Charity Buzz. Support the Inspiring Children Foundation and Women in Film. How about that? So if you're interested in cards or charity, head to CharityBuzz.com/talkincards to bid and learn more. That's CharityBuzz.com/talkincards. There is a link in the description. Standout performances.
Standout performances.
Who stood out?
I forgot to. I did highlight my guy. Okay. A lot of great names out there. What up, Zach Neto? You're my guy. You know that, bro. Me and you play shortstop a lot alike. But I'm going to go with a pitcher instead. I'm going to go with Framber Valdez. He went 7 innings pitched. Yes, it was against the Marlins. 6 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 10 Ks. Astros desperately have needed this since June 1st, which is kind of, around the time they started going. Framber's been Framber. He's been who we expect him to be. The numbers on the year are getting there, but this is our guy right here. Since June 1st, that's 8 starts, 50 and 2/3 innings pitched, 17 earned runs, 44 Ks, a 3.02 ERA, 644 OPS against. This is more along the lines of what we expect from Framber. Just what the doctor ordered for the Astros. He's got to be the guy. He's got to be an ace for them to go and get back to the 8th consecutive ALCS. Framber's got to do it. He's doing his part with the Astros right now. So I feel like we haven't talked about him. He was a talking baseball darling for last 2 or 3 years. A little glove, him switching glove colors, all these things. We love watching Framber pitch. We kind of forgot about him. He struggled a little bit in the beginning of the season. Had a 4.34 going up through May, and has got it down now, Jake, to a 3.66 on the year because of that nice little run in the last 8 starts. So wanted to give him a shout out. He was my standout performer.
Yeah, I wonder. Just might be funny, man, when there's Houston playoff series, and it's like, yeah, I mean, they're going Framber, Verlander, Blanco. Like, okay. Like their rotation that had been their Achilles heel or weakness as a team could be as strong as anyone if they're in October, which...
And then that bullpen, like, they're just going to shut people out when the time comes.
Taylor Scott out of South Africa with a 1.42 ERA. Didn't even know we were playing ball over there. Happy.
What's up with South Africa?
Global game. I don't know. I feel like if you do it right, you have a blast. And you're like...
I'm never going to go to South Africa.
It feels
I'm
like
going to say that right now. I'd rather go to like Africa.
Feels
than
like there
South
was a
Africa.
ton of oppression, and I don't know if there still is. So I don't know.
Bro, give me. I'm a North Africa guy. Give me Egypt all day.
Obviously,
Over South Africa, obviously.
check out the Nile, the pyramids. Trev could have went so many guys. Tyler Stevenson put a couple big games in. Rafael Marchand. Those are just the two catchers listed. I'm going with the pitching Sunday, Friday. And I'm going to throw some voodoo at you because I can't make sense of any of this. Tobias Myers for Milwaukee. And Milwaukee fans are like, oh, you're highlighting us this episode. We dropped a set to Skenes in Pittsburgh. Tobias Myers is the game they won. 8 innings pitched, 0 earned runs. He's been one of those guys that, we say, Brewers, they need pitching. And here's Tobias Myers, who made his MLB debut this year. He's 25, and I was like, okay, this is some Brewers BS. Like, I'm gonna open his player thing and see, Brewers 4th round pick, 2020. 6th round pick by the Baltimore Orioles in 2016 out of high school. Okay, sure.
Okay.
The Brewers added him this offseason as a free agent. He was released by the White Sox. So this guy made his debut this year, which, Trev, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think because he made his debut, the Brewers would technically have Tobias Myers all of his 6-7 years. They don't even have his service time listed yet because they don't know when he'd be eligible to be a free agent. Like, I think if he pitches the rest of this year, Tobias Myers would be eligible to be a free agent in 2033. That math's off. I admit
That's not
2031, 2030. And they just picked him up. This guy was available for everyone, and now he has 13 starts this year to a 3.13 ERA. What? Brewers Devil Magic.
A lot of teams have devil magic. The Cardinals used to be the team with the devil magic, and now it's just kind of spread throughout baseball. Phillies kind of have it.
Tobias Myers
Brewers definitely have it.
Tobias Myers is 25. This isn't like a 28-year-old they got off the heap that it was. He's 25. Oh,
you got me looking now.
They should go trade for this guy. No, they're gonna call up
God,
Tobias
he's a
Myers.
good-looking kid too.
It's cute. Looks a little Sonny Grayish.
Good look.
No, he's. No offense to Sonny. This guy's
okay.
Sonny Gray.
Really?
Oh my gosh, yes, dude. Look at those teeth.
I thought this guy looks just like Sonny Gray.
Bronze skin. Who knows his background? He's got a little bit of something.
Okay.
Got this olive skin. Looks beautiful.
Tobias.
You're telling me him and Sonny Gray are the same type of good looking?
I think they're in the same boat. I mean, I think a young 25-year-old Sonny Gray had a similar
I can
glow.
see what you're saying. I get it, Vandy boys. I get it. But this guy, 6'1", 217. Okay. Still need to come out with my hot boy list.
Awesome.
Paul Skenes is starting the All-Star game.
Hey!
Wow.
Good.
Literally passing. Passing made that happen, huh?
Good. Yeah. How about that? I am so mad at Tobias.
Do you
Myers
think
right
the
now.
league called
Ooh.
and said, listen,
Make it happen.
take him out of that freaking game because he's going to pitch in the All-Star game? And if he goes 120, you might tell us, no, we need him on that national stage. You don't think there's stuff like this going on? You're crazy.
Tobias Myers got lit up in White Sox AA last year.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I don't. You mentioned some teams have devil magic. I'll tell you who does not. The Chicago White Sox.
Oh, it is so bad. It is so bad.
Because
We
what
didn't even talk about.
genuinely,
Listen to this.
genuinely
Okay, go
what
ahead.
happened here? The Brewers told him, you need to do this and this and you'll be good. And now he's good at the Dude, he got lit up at AA. And now he's good at the major league level.
I'd have to go. I don't know. I got to do some research on that. The White Sox, we didn't even talk about Garrett Crochet, or not Garrett Crochet, Michael Kopech threw an immaculate inning against my Twins.
Yeah.
9 pitches, 3 Ks. Didn't even talk about that.
He'll be on a new team soon.
They brought in this guy, Leisure, in the first game, and he just like gave it up. Who is this, homers against him? Carlos Correa hit one, and who else? Matt Wallner hit one, I think it was. And then they bring him in the last game, and he promptly gives up another homer. I'm like, maybe don't throw that guy right now. But they don't care. They don't know what is going on. It's wild to see. Who else do we miss? JD Martinez.
There's a ton of guys.
JD Martinez is my David Robertson. Like every year, just sign these guys. It's
yeah, right.
That's the easiest sign of all time. JD Martinez, David Robertson, package deal every time. Doesn't matter what team you're on.
Be a good front office move by us every year. It could have been Ernie Clement, who made some nice plays at third too. Could have been Justin Steele putting the team on his back, but instead, Trev, it's time for the best segment of the show. It's in Fuego season.
Dirt Nasty's on Fuego. That means I'm on fire, baby. Like Waco.
I'm going to save my Corona Extra
Sure.
player for the end of the In Fuego segment because I think that's how it should be. So we'll start out in Cincinnati. Great starts by Abbott and Green. Green's an all-star. Nice, but who's catching the ball there? Tyler Stevenson. He's like is he a big country boy? Kind of, that's what I think of when I think of him.
Okay.
Look that up for me. He went 8 for 18 in the series. That's a 444 batting average, 3 doubles, 4 Jimmy Jacks. Okay. 8 runs driven in, 6 runs scored. Okay, Tyler Stevenson. Okay. You mentioned Michael Busch in the series against Baltimore, 8 for 15, 3 doubles, a homer, 4 runs driven in, 6 runs scored. Thank you, Dodgers, for that. Who'd they get for Michael Busch?
I think it was kids. I think it's like non-40 man.
Yeah, he was just blocked. Okay.
Yeah.
For the week, Cal Raleigh, big dumper, 10 for 25, a double, 4 homers, 8 runs driven in. He joins Carlton Fisk, Johnny Bench, and Pudge Rodriguez as the only catchers that have 15 homers and 5 stolen bases by the All-Star break. Who knew? I didn't know Cal Raleigh was stealing bags. Okay. Colt Keith, we talked about him. He's going off in the week, 9 for 25, a triple, 3 homers, 8 runs driven in, 9 runs scored, 5 walks. Gotta love to see that. Then our guy Rowdy. Love his season. An up and down season. He's getting booed by Pirates fans. He's getting cheered by Pirates fans. There's nothing better. Hey, Rowdy, what makes the highs feel good? The lows, baby. 8 for 22, a double, 3 home runs, 7 runs driven in, 5 runs score for the 1.2. 2 weeks. Brenton Doyle.
Yeah.
Okay. You're supposed to be gloved first. I don't know about that anymore. 18 for 46, 5 doubles, 7 homers, 14 runs driven in, 9 runs scored, 8 walks, 2 stolen bases. We talked about Ian Happ also 14 for 42 in these 2 weeks. 4 doubles, 5 home runs, 16 runs driven in, 11 runs scored, 9 walks. Probably has a bigger hammer than me too. What's up with you not hitting on the road though, Hap? How about that?
Okay.
That's the note that Dalton put in, by the way. 177 average on the road, the lowest in the majors among qualified hitters. Who cares? I rake it home. Jose Quintana, the only pitcher on this entire list. 3 games. How about this blast from the past? Okay, Jose Quintana. How old is he? 34?
I'd guess older.
Okay. 3 games started, 18 innings pitched, 11 hits, 2 earned runs, 13 Ks for the 1 ERA, the 1 WHIP. He's recorded consecutive starts of 7+ shutout innings. The previous Mets pitcher with consecutive starts of 7 shutout innings was obviously Jacob deGrom. He had 3 straight in September in 2019. And then my Corona and Fuego player, he went a little bit extra on us. How about the debut week of our guy Reese Hines? 4-game set versus Colorado at home, family there. This guy is hitting absolute tank jobs. 8 for 16, 3 doubles, a triple, 2 homers, 4 runs driven in, 2 runs, 2 stolen bases, just because why not?
No.
He becomes the first player in Major League history to get 5 extra base hits in his first 2 games. And usually we were like, hey, what about Stumpy McGumperson or something like that?
Don't.
There's not even one of those guys here. Reese, you're in a field of your own. By the way, Reese Hines sounds like an old name also. The first Reds player to hit a home run in each of his first 2 Major League Baseball games. That seems crazy too. Reese, you're doing a bunch of things that no one's ever done before. Good for you. He becomes the first player with homers that traveled 445 plus feet for each of his first 2 career home runs since StatCast began tracking in 2015. So Reese is doing things that nobody else has ever done. And if you want to like just oh my gosh moment, like you're just listening to this, you're like, okay, like give me one of those oh my gosh moments, bro. Just go like look at the homers. Like go get the highlights of the homers. It's oh my gosh. Like he ain't getting cheated. When guys don't get cheated and they square up a ball, it's a marvelous sight. Reese Hines did that a couple times in Cincinnati, and he is my Corona Extra and Fuego player of the week.
Powerful stuff, Trevor. Reese Hines, man, I was laughing to myself this morning. He's like done everything. He's got a triple. He's got 3 doubles. He's got 2 homers. He's got RBI. He's got stolen bases. Hitting .500 currently. He's welcome to the show. Everything's easy.
And the Reds, I mean, we talked about like last year, all this youth movement. Add another one. If they can get all these guys going again, like we were so excited about this team. So excited. Their pitching is young. Their players are young.
They're one of the
Reds, come on.
They're one of those teams the next couple weeks. Very interesting. Very interesting. Jonathan India hitting. They're playing the Marlins going into the break. Like, you could turn it on right now. Has them as a 33% chance to make the postseason. Okay. Trev, fantastic job by you. I do have to give the people, not the interleague, but the IL updates. And it's kind of about taking care of your body, which that's what Mando does. Mando, if you hate foul balls, you know the kind. Or off the field right now. Or maybe you were on the field and now you're off the field. Take care of all of it. Fellas, you stink. We naturally stink. Whether it's pits, under your man boobs, foul balls like listed, buttocks. And Mando is available in solid sticks, invisible cream, body wash, cleaning bars, and deodorant wipes for on-the-go use. I've got a Mando, just normal deodorant in my locker here. If I'm leaving work and like going to dinner or happy hour, put on a little Mando. Got to.
I like Mando. I like Mando's deodorant.
You got to. And we've got the discount code for you. New customers get $5 off the starter pack with our exclusive code. That's 40% off. So use code TALKIN at shopmando.com. Shopmando.com. I promise you, you can use it. At shopmando.com. Click the link. Go check it out. The IL. Graham Ashcraft. We talked about Cincinnati. Stuart Fairchild. All he does is make plays for them. Tyler Glass now. We hate that. Thought we were going to see him at the All-Star game. Reed Garrett had been so good out of that Mets bullpen. He goes down. Cody Bellinger, you mentioned the broken finger. Tyler Soderstrom for Oakland. Sure. Returning from the IL, Javi Baez getting roasted by the broadcast. Lars Nootbaar. Chris Paddock for your Twins, sure. America's third baseman, Anthony Rendon. Schwarber is back. Snell is back. Tyro's back. Wilmer Flores. It's Giants push season, baby. Bryce Harper, sure. Nick Lodolo. Jake, show me your bird. Miguel Castro. We had a lot of guys come back. I like that. Let's come back to the start of our week.
Awards!
Start of our weekend. I'm going to have like the best day today. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Okay. My award is called Travel Agent Trev Award.
Okay.
I've been traveling lately.
Yes.
Just did the whole Pebble Beach loop where I shot an 83. at Pebble for my second round of the day. You sent it to your group chat. Your guys roasted me, but then I roasted you because I showed the scorecard.
Nice,
Why would
dude.
I lie about something like that?
I can write up a scorecard too.
Why would I lie? First of all, it's not my writing. Second of
Nice.
all, why would I lie about something like that? You can look at my handicap. It's online. You could just.
I'm not
like,
saying
look
you
it up.
lied. I just my friend said nice
Crazy.
93, Trev.
By the way, 83 is like, it's still not that. It's not like I said I shot a 70. Like,
no.
anyways, I shot an 83. It was great. It's like my
So
best round of
over.
golf I've ever played. Okay. So I've been traveling
Yeah.
lately. So I got a guy. I started this agency and I got a guy. He called out and said, "Hey man, I need you to hook me up with a little vacay. I'm currently in Colorado, and I got a few days to spare. And what can you do for me?" So I said, "Okay, let me think about this. Aspen's right there.
Mm.
But, I'd prefer you to go in the winter, get the whole white aspen
Yeah.
thing." That's a funny white aspen. We don't need to do any mountain biking right now. Let's get you out of Colorado. It's a quick jaunt over to Napa. Napa's is beautiful right now. We can go to Napa for 2 days. We're going to fly you private. We're going to get you up there because you got a lot of money.
Mm.
You show me your bank account and your future earnings, 162 mil plus.
Oh, Rodon?
We can get you private. We're gonna fly you up to Napa, set you up at some vineyards. Maybe do you want to do French laundry? It's kind of a long meal, but you can do it if you want. You got that kind of cash, and you got some time now. Send you up to Napa. I don't know. You want to go to Promontory, one of the big boy
Stop
vineyards
it.
out there.
You've lost everyone.
Anyways, you could do that. But then what I'm going to do for you there is we're going to take you all the way across. It's going to be a long flight, but we're going to fly you private again. Because again, you can afford that. You got it, baby. We're going to fly you down to Miami because you have work in Miami quickly, but we're going to go Napa straight across the U.S. down to Miami. We're going to set you up Key Biscayne, right outside of South Beach. You don't want to go to South Beach. No, we're going to go to Key Biscayne, set you up at the Ritz down there. Because I think that's where you're going to be anyway. Set you up. We'll get you, some spa packages. We'll get you to Joe's Seafood. I think that's what the nice one's called. Or we can go to Prime 112 and set you up one of the nicer steakhouses down there because you're going to have some time. The person that called me and asked me for my travel agent advice, Brandon Nimmo. What are we doing here, people? Why is this guy not an all-star? I know we've talked about this a little bit. Probably the biggest snub in the big leagues right now. Pete Alonso going for the Mets. Wish Brandon Nimmo was going. But I also think, and this is kind of why I gave my award, it's for the best, dude. Like, let's be real. I've talked to a lot of guys that have been all-stars. Was I ever an all-star? Absolutely not. Should I have been? Maybe one year? Possibly. What they all say is, man, it ain't all what it's cracked up to be. Like, I'd rather have the days. This year, we're getting an extra day off, 4 straight off days. I think Brandon Nimmo is going to be just fine. We mentioned 162 mil. Do you want to go for career earnings?
I don't know.
He's already at $54.5 million. He's got another 123 coming. Quick math, that's 177 M's for my guy, Brandon Nimmo. So as bad as I feel for Brandon Nimmo not making the All-Star game, I think it's probably best for him. He's going to be able to do whatever he wants. Now, he's gonna decline everything I just said because he's from Wyoming.
Yeah.
He's probably going to want to go shoot some turkeys in Nashville right now instead of doing what I said he should be doing. But he's the biggest snub, but I don't think he cares. He's got everything he needs. The Mets are back in the race. He's going off. The numbers on the year, 16 home runs. He's already got 62 runs driven in, 8 stolen bases, an 831 OPS, 140 OPS plus. He's worth 2.7 baseball reference WAR. Everything is going Brandon Nimmo's way, except the guys that vote on the All-Star team, the players, just didn't notice, and they gave it to Pete instead. Don't think he cares. Travel agent Trev says go to Napa to Miami. Don't know if he's going to take me up on that, but Brandon Nimmo's doing just fine, Jake.
Yeah, Mets again in the playoffs, playing really good baseball, clicking kind of on all cylinders. Brandon Nimmo is declining your entire offer.
I think so too.
And
He's like,
that's
I'm going to fly
fine.
Southwest to Nashville, and I'm going to go shoot some turkeys.
And hey, that whole team sport, not team sport debate we had before, him, Lindor getting snubbed. Who's the other Met that everyone was like could have been there? The Mets had a few snubbies that I don't say that rallies a clubhouse, but I don't know, guys looking around a little bit. Like, hey, we're the Mets. Nobody respects us. That's the perfect lane for the Mets to be in. People were saying Sevy could have possibly been an all-star. Mets are in the dance right now. That's insane. Good on them. Remember how bad their start was? LOL Mets. Power of Grimace.
I was gonna send as a travel agent him and Lindor on a family trip together, but I don't. Does that mesh?
I have Nimmo shooting up to Alberta, Canada for a couple days and getting away. I have Lindor heading down to South Beach
Straight
early,
to Miami
for their first game out of the breaks. And I have neither of them using you, and I have them both using Booking.com. Just because that's an actual place where you should book your travel. Booking.com, Booking.yeah, hotels, bed and breakfasts, vacation rentals, resorts, and so much more on Booking.com. You can find your perfect stay. I've got Arlington. I got Boston coming up. And if you're going to any U.S. city and you're looking to book plans, do not hit up Trev because he's actually just using Booking.com, the official accommodations partner of Major League Baseball. Go on the website. Go use the app. Trev, my award is the Glory Days Award.
Okay.
You went to Stanford, BBD, your sinus. I went to CCSU. Me and John,
Flash Vandy,
technically roommates there a little bit. Yeah, I went to Vanderbilt, technically. And anyone who went to college or anyone who's even been roommates with someone, you find out about that person, whether good or bad, whether it's
yes,
weird stuff in the shower, whether it's, maybe you get to know the same people really well. It could be a lot of different things. For a lot of people, I'd say the 1% of the 1% of the 1% of the 1%, you don't say, hey, maybe I'll see you on the diamond in a couple years. And we haven't gotten a lot of White Sox love, although former Yankee prospect traded for Soto and then flipped again for Cease. How you doing? Drew Thorpe pitching for the White Sox, and he's been pitching well. Teed it up against his college roommate, Brooks Lee, top prospect for your Minnesota Twins, who's been balling out. And Brooks Lee got him. Second career home run. And I don't know, man. I think all of us, maybe not everyone, but a lot of people still have their Little League memories and facing your buddy and they're smiling on the hill and you can't stop smiling at the plate. Obviously college, and these guys are, I think, a first and a second round pick, so not all of those memories are as crazy and oh, can you believe we're playing big league baseball? Like they kind of thought. But to see each other out there, a couple Cal Poly boys, you got those recruiting letters.
I did.
I don't know. That's just one of those fun baseball things that, who knows, man? College roommates, you get tight. You get an Eskimo family living under the same roof.
There it is. So I will say this. Obviously, I watched these games. Drew Thorpe, number one, a delight to watch pitch.
Okay.
Pitcher. Stuff moving all over the place, changing velos, adding, subtracting, location. Great. Even that pitch was a cutter down and in. Brooks Lee's just kind of been on a heater. Struck him out in 3 pitches a bat before. So there's a little bit of got you, got me. Homer wins in that scenario. But I do love it. You're right about you room with someone. I think a lot of people who are listening to this program have had college roommates, have lived with somebody. I'd never went to college, but at one point, this is during the financial crisis, housing market in the gutter. Me and my friends, my best friends and my brother, we all rented this it's a big house, an older house, but for us, it was a mansion.
Right.
and they were trying to sell it, but no houses were selling. So we got a really cheap rental for the off season, and man, ended up being haunted. We found like, I'm being serious, dude.
Right.
We found these magazines from the previous people. They were like naked girls with like fake dead bodies. We found the magazines like in like this cupboard. It was very strange. I don't know what was happening to the previous tenants and all that. But we had a great time, man. Forget about what I just said. We had a great time there. And you do find out a lot about the people. But great matchup. Drew Thorpe, great pitcher. So keep an eye on him. Even though he's with the White Sox, your face, you don't like that.
Thanks for tuning in to Talking Baseball.
Brooksley's a stud, by the way.
Was that nudie mags and corpses?
It was true. I swear. I'm not making
Yeah,
that up.
I
You always think
know.
I'm lying.
I don't think you're lying, unfortunately. I just,
Yeah.
it's not where I thought the episode was wrapping today.
The walls were painted like blood red before. The guy finally told us when we were moving out, like, we like got it out of him. We got him a little inebriated. He's like, yeah, before you guys moved in here, the walls were like blood red. I'm like, dude, what? Anyways, go buy Brooks Lee baseball cards. This guy is a freaking animal.
Oh, Drew Thorpe, what was your minor league experience? Well, I was drafted by the Yankees, and then I was traded for Soto, and then I was traded for Cease, so I don't know, whatever.
I hope the White Sox trade it again.
Maybe.
To the Dodgers.